everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful and maybe a little foggy Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, a delicious lawsuit. That we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's inexplicable.
Yeah, one Mr. James Huntsman, brother to former Utah Governor John Huntsman Jr., who also was a primary candidate a few cycles back for president. So you guys know the name. He's going after the Mormon Church, and we'll get to details later. But it's delicious.
It's kind of cuckoo bananas. It's kind of crazy.
I know, but I love it. I love it. I wish him all the luck in the world.
Yeah, it's going nowhere, but that's okay. It's gonna. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk
Who
about
knows?
it.
He's got a lot of money. He could make a lot of things happen.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Dan,
Yes.
you live in an HOA situation.
How dare you?
You have a homeowners association.
You're doxing me right now. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's such a doxing detail.
Such a
I
rare
live in
thing.
a homeowners association situation as well. And everybody, I don't know if you know this, I'm the president of my HOA.
You're so proud. I love it.
So the story that I'm about to talk about caught my eye because it was like,
hits home.
Some HOA news. So down there in Texas, the Republicans in the state legislature are currently trying to pass a bill that sounds like it's going to pass, and it sounds like the governor will likely sign it. But a bill that would rein in HOAs throughout Texas, their ability to restrict religious symbols being put on display on like front porches in sort of association homes, right? Because apparently this all got started because somebody lived in an HOA and decided they were going to Jesus-y up their front porch.
Right.
And the HOA was like, you're kind of breaking the rules.
Right.
So you need to remove that. Because you know what? When you purchased your home in this community, you agreed to a certain set of rules.
You signed documents.
Exactly, right? Which, by the way, nobody except for apparently me, reads the CC&Rs while purchasing a place to see what you're in for, right?
Right.
Anyway, well, there's that. So the legislature has decided to overreact, and I basically just want to file this whole thing under. I can't wait for a member of the Satanic Temple to test this new law.
Right.
Because like they're blanket allowing religious displays. So I mean, there are some that like I'm a pretty easy-going HOA board member and board president, if I didn't mention that already. Like I don't really fucking care. Like, as far as like, like we technically have rules against putting up signs in your window, like political signs and that kind of stuff. And like, who fucking cares? What I care about is, you can't make architectural changes to the exterior of what you think your home is. It's a townhome situation. So, right. And so it's like, you can't make exterior changes that are permanent. But if you want to put something, who fucking cares, right? But a lot of HOAs,
that's a slippery slope.
Fucking
who cares?
Care.
Yeah.
Well, you have the rules on the book so that if somebody is stupid, you can like rein it in, right? But we have people who have like little political signs in their windows and they face the street. Who cares, right?
Right.
Anyway,
I think you'd care more if they were political signs that were like horrible, anti-gay or anti-whatever. Like, for instance, in my HOA, we used to have a guy who liked to fly a Confederate flag. And that was not okay.
Here's the deal. I would wait for a homeowner to complain, and then we would deal with it. Right. Sure. But as long as there's no complaints coming in, no big deal.
Right. You're not going to write
That's my attitude. I'm not some Nazi going around. Like, there are HOA board members out in the world, and sorry if you're one of them, who go around and, like, police their community.
Right.
And I just think that kind of behavior gives HOAs a really bad name. Right. Like, all we're really trying to do is just, like, protect our common interests and have a nice, clean community. Yeah, exactly. And if you want to put a little display in your window, who fucking cares? Well, anyway, but I don't like that this is all couched in religious terms. Right. Apparently, there are provisions in the new law that would allow for holiday decorations 30 days before and 14 days after a certain holiday. I don't know which holiday they could possibly be talking about.
All of them. Can I just tell you, I saw the most insane Easter decorations on somebody's house the other day that I have ever seen. Like, probably at least 500 colored plastic eggs hanging by ribbons from a tree. Single tree, just completely engulfed in eggs. It was amazing.
Where was this?
This stupid neighborhood.
But it sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but I question, like, so they're talking about holiday decorations that are supposed to be, because they put in the sort of the sincerely motivated religious sort of belief, like, line into the law, so that it's like, but like normally if you have a rule that you can't put up like a little cross on your porch, you're probably not allowing for Halloween decorations either, right?
Right.
So you're going to allow like Christmas and Easter and all these other like religious holidays, but like you're going to say no to Halloween? And then what if like you can't like people could be coming forward with any like random religious holiday.
There is going to be some
truly
snarky,
a member of. Yeah.
There's going to be some snarky ass Jew who is going to decorate for every Jewish holiday, of which I think there are 2 for every day of the year. Like, Jewish holidays, they got a lot of them.
Yeah.
And they are going to go matter of fact, Rabbi Gruber, if you're listening to this, I know you're in Texas. If you live in an HOA, you know that you have to do this now, right? You know you have to go fucking hog wild on Purim decorations, Rosh Hashanah decoration, like every single Jewish holiday. Doesn't matter how little you care about it or how disrespectful it is to the actual holiday, you have to go ape shit crazy.
Well, seriously though, the Satanic Temple is made for this, right? This is what 100%. They do, right? Like you just need a bunch of like satanic, imagery on somebody's porch, right?
Right.
And to like have some HOA board be like, no, you can't do that.
Seriously, someone in Texas, you have to do this. Pair up with the Satanic Temple, national people.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're already a member. If you're not, make sure that you join up.
Yeah.
And then just come up with a calendar of holidays. I don't know if STS has a calendar of holidays currently, but I'm sure that they will be very willing to, and make sure that there's one every so let's see, you've got 30 days before and 14 days
to clean up. Yeah.
So that is every 44 days there's a new holiday.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't even have to be that much because you've got anyway, you do the math. I'm not good at that sort of thing. sort out exactly how many things you have to do, and then make sure that you have constant, just terrifying. Get that Baphomet statue on your lawn. Do it.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, from Texas, I'm going to take us to Colorado, where does the name Jack Phillips ring a bell to you at all?
No.
It's a pretty common name, and one that we didn't care about, except that he was the guy who wouldn't make the gay wedding cake, who got sued in Colorado.
Right.
And then the U.S. Supreme Court decided to uproot the Colorado decision based on the fact that they thought that the Colorado department that had made the decision about it sounded kind of mean. It wasn't a real victory. The Supreme Court didn't actually tackle the argument of whether or not someone has to make a wedding cake for a same-sex couple,
right?
If they make wedding cakes. All they did was say, no, you were too mean to him, so we're overturning this.
Okay.
Well, I think on the same day back in 2017 that the Supreme Court announced that it would hear the appeal. A woman named Autumn Scardina, who is a trans woman and an attorney, called into his shop to request a cake that was blue on the outside and pink on the inside in honor of her gender transition. Which is, I think, a delightful thing to do, because what he had said was that the point of him refusing the cake was that it would be in some way honoring what he deemed to be a religious ceremony, meaning the wedding.
Right.
And he had a religious problem with that.
Okay.
Well, she called his bluff because no, it wasn't about that. He just wanted to hate on folk and didn't want to do nice things for people that he hated. So she had him make a cake. He refused. This whole thing went to the state. There was a whole big kerfuffle, and the Colorado Civil Rights Commission decided that there was probable cause that Phillips had discriminated against her. And then there was a lawsuit and blah blah blah, and then all the lawyers for the state and for Phillips agreed to drop the cases under a settlement, but that settlement still allowed Miss Scardina to pursue a personal lawsuit.
Okay.
And she is. So
okay,
that is currently going through the process, but I just think that's hilarious. That dude was, I fucking hope everybody trolls him in the courts for the rest of his life. Until he finally is like, fine, I'll make all the cakes.
Oh my God. All right. Well, Dan.
Yes.
You know that nice Franklin Graham?
Yeah. He's your namesake. He's who you were named after.
Yeah, exactly. Son of Billy Graham.
Yeah.
The very famous evangelist who maybe, I don't know, he was a pretty conservative guy, but he didn't seem as awful as Franklin does.
Oh no, the son of the famous pastor is always the worst one.
Anyway, he did something this week that I think caught a lot of people by surprise. Also, a lot of fans of his, people who follow him, and specifically who follow him on places like Facebook. He got onto Facebook and posted about getting the vaccine and advocating for people to get the vaccine. Vaccine, of course, for COVID-19.
Yeah.
He said that he'd been asked if Jesus, that if Jesus were physically walking on Earth now, would he be an advocate for vaccines? And so he goes, yes, my answer is yes, he would be, because they protect people. They're going to keep you safe from whatever, right? I don't know exactly what he said.
They keep people, it's healing. It's
it's a good thing.
It
you should
prevents
do this.
suffering.
Exactly.
So why wouldn't Jesus be pro that?
Yeah. And I actually think that like he kind of knew his audience a little bit, and said that people should consult their doctor though about the best plan for their own health, right? And that's okay. Like he knows his audience a little bit. Well, he didn't know his audience. His audience fucking lost their goddamn fucking minds about this.
Of course they did,
because they're a bunch of anti-vaxxers, and on top of it, they're COVID deniers. And so some top comments told Graham things like that he should do more research, and one reply chastised Graham for saying that he wants to continue living. That was, I guess, part of his thing. Like, I got a shot so I could continue living. And the person says, it doesn't matter how many shots you get. When it's your time, no vaccine will save you. Oh my God.
Well, that's true. It also doesn't matter how many times you jump out of a helicopter. When it's your time, you're going to die.
Sure, exactly. And it's just really, truly remarkable, because this is the thing that I've been hearing a lot, and sort of bouncing around in the media that I pay attention to, that we need to, the leaders of these communities need to start standing up and giving some good messaging and saying that they've gotten the vaccine. And this is how we're going to curb, the vaccine hesitancy and everything. Right. And then you see this story and you're like, oh no, like this ship has sailed. This thing has a mind of its own at this point. Yeah. And these people aren't listening to anyone, including like people that they have chosen to follow on social media because of whatever reason they like this person. They've liked their message in the past. And then they say one thing about the COVID-19 vaccine and they just lose it.
Well, these people, that's the problem, is that people don't know what their religion is anymore. So many people, their religion has become QAnon / Fox News or whatever / OAN. And so they're not the God thing is not their religion anymore. I've seen this among Mormons. It's weird. Mormons who, as you know, in our days growing up, would never have dreamed of thinking a thought against what the prophet and his cohorts would say.
Yeah, never. Yeah.
If it came out of Temple Square, it was fucking gospel and you did it.
Or you were an apostate.
Right.
Yeah.
And now the Mormon church says, yeah, you should probably get vaccinated. And everybody's like, fuck you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah, it's crazy. Their current prophet is a doctor.
Yeah.
A medical doctor. And people are still not listening to them.
They're like, I don't know.
Hemant Mehta had a good roundup of Facebook responses to Franklin Graham. I don't know if you saw his thing, but a whole bunch of people saying things like, but this vaccine is not proven. It is man-made and dangerous. Like unlike all those other vaccines that came to us from the ground,
from on high.
And this one, this one is the one that really proves my point, which is this person said, I find this disturbing. You are a man of God, no doubt. This is someone talking directly to Franklin Graham.
Right.
But who is paying you to say this and sell out? You are too smart and know this is not a religious question.
Unbelievable. Yes. How is it not being? This is a good thing. This is being a good neighbor. This is being a good member of your community.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. It's
Stopping
not even
the
for you.
spread.
It is for
Yeah.
all of us. It is for the least of us. It is for the compromised.
Absolutely. Right. And these people have at every step along the way through the pandemic been the most selfish people that you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's always been about them. Their rights that were being trampled on, which was ludicrous to begin with, but their rights.
Right.
They don't want to wear a mask. I can't breathe. Bullshit. We can all breathe. We breathe fucking fine.
We literally all know that you can breathe. You know that we know that you can breathe because we're wearing masks right now and we're breathing.
Yeah.
But like the other thing is, I don't want to wear a mask is just, it's literally the most minor inconvenience that could be asked of you.
No kidding.
And they're not willing to do it.
Nothing. They have to have their Christmas with their family. They have to no, we're all in the same boat. We're all sacrificing. You're not missing out on something that everybody else is getting to do. Right.
Yeah.
Like we're all missing out on family gatherings. Yeah. We're all missing our friends.
Except that Americans didn't miss out
to
so many.
Try to save some lives.
Yeah.
And instead, over 500,000 people in this country alone have died. And I know that I have to walk away from it. I know that for life to go on and for society to return to whatever fuck normal is at this point, like we have to move on. But I don't know how we do. I'm still wrestling with this. I know I've brought it up before, but like, how do we live with these people?
I know.
These horrible, I think they're horrible people.
I've got news for you. And this is where I've come to. I don't want to get too derailed on this, but what I've come to, because I have been on a kick lately of just everybody forgive everybody for everything right now.
Oh, God.
It is too fucking hard. Life is too short and too fucking difficult right now. Go easy on yourself. If you did a shitty thing, try not to do it again. If you didn't, if you went and jumped the line to get a vaccine, okay, fine, forgive yourself. If you didn't, if you didn't wear a mask when you should have, if you got together with family when you shouldn't have, everybody let's just take a deep breath. Let's realize that we're all pieces of shit anyway, that we're all just apes with cell phones. None of us are very good at this whole thinking thing. And just breathe and move on. We all, parents who don't feel like they have a right choice to make at this point, which you don't, go easy on yourself. Everybody gets a bit of a free pass right now. Even the shittiest shitheads. In my mind, they were misled. They were told by people that they trusted in authority. The people who don't get a pass are people like fucking Tucker Carlson and Rush Limbaugh and Donald Trump. These are the people, and Mitch McConnell, whatever. These are the people who don't get a pass. But I don't blame people for trusting people who spoke with authority and lied to them.
No, that's true, and that should soften it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think that they were already there.
Well,
right.
At this point,
I don't know. Like I just I need to walk away from it because
walk away.
I just feel like that side of the whole political spectrum is just they've turned into just me.
Well, you know what? I'm going to caution you against dehumanizing them too much because they're not a monolith, and plus dehumanizing is what they do as a monolith. Right.
But I feel like it's a driving value of the political right at the moment is that it's a incredibly self-centered and selfish movement. That's all I'm saying. Okay. That's what I believe.
I'm going to give it to you.
So
I'll allow it, and let's go on to the next story. And this one comes to us from Scotland. Though none of the things that are involved are particularly Scottish. There was a bit of a kerfuffle. The U.S. Air Force decided to build a firing range in a small rural area of Scotland, and kind of just did it. You know, they had obviously permission. The landowners, you know, they rented the land or whatever, and I'm sure they got governmental permission. The people that they didn't go to and talk to about it was the Buddhist monastery that they were right next door to.
Oh, okay.
The Samye Ling Tibetan Buddhist monastery, named after the very first monastery in Tibet, Samye. I don't know. I'm definitely not pronouncing that correctly. Located in a small southern Scottish village of Eskdalmere. Totally nailed that one, though. It is the oldest and largest Tibetan monastery in all of Europe.
Oh, wow.
And it's actually quite a lovely place. And as you can guess, if you know literally anything about Tibetan Buddhism, they probably value quiet.
No.
Which, you know, doesn't really go well with a firing range
Oh, my God.
for a military.
Oh, my God.
And I get the sense that this wasn't just like guys shooting rifles. I get the sense that they were like dropping bombs or something. This is the Air Force we're talking about. Anyway, I didn't see that, but
they just need to meditate harder.
Right?
Right. Like they just need to focus.
If you're good at it, you shouldn't notice the bombs. You should be fine.
Just push that away.
That's just monkey mind and you know, machine gun fire. So just chill with it, man. Just learn to meditate through it.
No big deal.
And they opened apparently last June, and things got a little hefty when they decided they were going to expand it. They wanted to have a larger range, put in a little cabin, and wanted to have a world long distance shooting competition on site. So that would be fun. The monks at that point decided to raise a bit of an objection, as did, I think, something like 20,000 people who all signed a petition.
Oh my God!
Saying, please no. And here's what's great. This ends in good news. The U.S. Air Force went, oops, our bad, and I've decided to pull out. So
great.
They're actually leaving.
Excellent.
Or rather, as they put it, the Air Force has, quote, no future plans to utilize this training area. So that's nice.
Oh.
They're leaving the monks alone.
Yeah, they needed some better zoning around that thing.
Yeah,
right.
I think maybe the monks have learned a lesson. We'll see.
All right, Dan.
Yes.
Also over in Europe.
Sure.
Belgium, to be precise.
That's not a real place.
The Jehovah's Witnesses are finding themselves in a little bit of hot water.
Uh-oh.
And have been fined to the tune of €12,000 for incitement to hatred.
Oh.
Now, in the context of the Jehovah's Witnesses, who do you think is the target of their hatred?
Oh, man, pick somebody. Those dudes are good at hating everybody. But I'm going to say, I mean, you'd think it would be LGBTQ plus people.
No.
But I'm going to guess you're going to tell me no, because you wouldn't have asked otherwise.
Former Jehovah's Witnesses.
There it is. They're shamers.
The practice of shunning has finally gotten them into hot water.
Oh, I love it.
And they were taken to court. Some former Jehovah's Witnesses approached the Ghent public prosecutor's office, who then sort of looked into it, investigated, and summoned the Jehovah's Witnesses for 4 charges, which are incitement to discrimination on the basis of religious belief against a person and against a group, so that's 2, as well as incitement to hatred or violence against a person and against a group. So there's the remaining two.
Because they're little shits about people who leave their religion because they're a cult.
Yeah. Apparently, Jehovah's Witnesses say that ex-members should be shunned like the plague, according to the lawyer in the case, Peter Brom Legge. And he assists the ex-witness who started the case. And according to the lawyer, the ex-witness used to sit on the Jehovah's Judicial Committee and help decide on exclusions until he realized it was going too far. We act, for example, for a man whose wife is still a member and he is ignored in his own home. Or a woman who has never seen her father since the exclusion.
They're really cruel about it. Like they are super nice if you meet them and you want to just, talk Bible for a minute.
Yeah.
But if you decide to join up and then you decide to leave, your family is supposed to just freeze you out completely.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't exist. You're gone.
Yeah.
Right. And what's awesome here is that these former Jehovah's Witnesses are not stopping at this decision in Belgium. Yeah, they want to take the case all the way to the European Court.
Yes,
because they want to stop the practice throughout Europe, which would be a huge, wonderful change for them. But it does sort of beg an interesting question, considering the Jehovah's Witnesses and who they are and sort of their lack of respect for civil law.
Yeah.
In general, that they, would rather go to prison than say, they're conscientious objectors, which I actually, kind of applaud.
I respect that.
I respect that. But
you can't be a conscientious objector to like civil society. There's a difference between being a conscientious objector to war and saying, I won't participate in your violence.
Right.
And saying, I won't participate in your goodness to other humans.
Right. But it's the context in which they object to fighting, right? Because they don't recognize the state, right? Like they seem to be fine with sort of emotional violence and being horrible people,
That's
right?
true.
Like it's not like they have some high moral standard, from my opinion, right?
They would say that it's being high, that it is high moral standard. That's
right, but it's just this thing about not respecting the state, right? And its authority. But they want to live only under Jehovah, right?
But there's a difference between one or two people saying, I'm willing to go to jail for this, and the entire organization saying, I'm willing for them to take millions of dollars of my money. And I think money really talks where everything else might fall apart.
But like so many things, like also with the allegations of abuse, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that the I forget all the terms that the Jehovah's Witnesses use, but their leaders will hide abuse from the authorities, right? Because they don't respect the state's authority. I think all this does is make it go underground. They're just going to be a little bit more sly about it. They're gonna coach people on how to be just enough of a dick to make Jehovah happy. Right.
Or they're just going to say,
but not break the law.
Or they're going to say, we don't mandate that you shun.
Right. This is your choice.
It's your decision to make. And then
you're right.
I don't see this case doing anything because it's just too hard to make an organization see it's too hard to prove that, that this group of people is mandating. I mean, they're totally out in the open doing it now, but it'll go underground, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about American values. Apparently, some people have them still in this country, despite what everyone who's listening to this from not our country might think. There are some values here. And the 2020 American Values Atlas Study has come out from PRRI, which I never did get to the bottom of what that stands for. I probably should know. Anyway, this is a study of Americans, and they asked some questions about how many people support or object to rights, protections specifically for LGBTQ persons, like legal protections against discrimination.
Okay.
So I go. You know what? I'm going to have you play. We're going to play some guessing games. How many Americans of the total number of Americans? How many would you say favor laws that would protect LGBT? All the letters. I got lost in the middle there. People from discrimination in jobs, housing, and public accommodations.
102.
That is a high percentage.
Oh, you want a percentage?
We're importing people for that percentage. We're going to include Canada.
Let's see. The support LGBT in workplace, you say?
In jobs, housing, and public accommodations.
Oh, I think it's actually quite high. I think it's probably 70%.
It is 76%, my friend.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, even higher than I thought.
Yeah, that's up.
I was about to say 70 to 80, and then I pulled myself back. I was like, "There's no way it could be 80."
It's up from 72% in 2019.
Really?
Now, which is great. It does break it down by religion. That's one of the ways that they break it down. Religiously unaffiliated people, which am us, are definitely the highest supporting group. Well, actually, technically, we're tied for highest supporting group in favor of protections with white mainline Protestants.
Shut the fuck up.
I know. Which means that there are 15% religiously unaffiliated people who are opposed to it, which fuck you guys, whoever they are. But
hopefully
those
not
are
listening to this show.
They're not listening to this show. But those are the highest ones. Jewish comes in hot. Black Protestants are actually pretty strong. 73% in favor for Black Protestants. Hooray for them.
Wow.
Hispanic Catholics are pretty high at 81%.
What?
I have to think that there's a there's a little there, even if you think that somebody's evil for their way of life, when you've experienced oppression, you kind of go, maybe we shouldn't be too big of dicks to them.
Well, I also just think that more and more it's clear how much religious leadership is out of touch with the people that they're leading. Right?
Totally.
And that's not across the board. I think the evangelicals are all just a bunch of a-holes. And their leadership probably lines up pretty well with them. They're probably trying to keep up with how bad. Yeah, anyway. But
we're going to go back to our guessing game.
Okay. More guessing.
Our lowest score, there's no surprise here. It belongs to white evangelical Protestants.
Yeah.
And of course they're the lowest score because they're the worst. And I want you to guess what percentage of white evangelical Protestants favor non-discrimination protections.
It's going to be higher than I think, probably.
So higher than 4%?
Higher 5%. Shocking. I would say because you're asking the question the way that you are and everything, and the whole thing seems to be higher than expected, I'm going to say it's above 50%.
You are correct.
Really?
62.
Wow.
62% is our lowest demographic. And yeah, that's white evangelical Protestants.
I'm going to take back my thing about evangelicals. I think that the evangelicals who get all the press are the bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, that's very clearly the case.
Yeah. I need to rein that in. And then they have their little followers. But I was listening to an evangelical woman who found her way onto liberal radio this afternoon. And she was she was a decent human being, and that was clear, and she was a person of integrity. And that made me actually kind of go, oh, evangelicals, I guess they're not that horrible. But it is still a really dangerous movement as a whole, no matter what. Gross. Wow. That makes me have decent feelings towards some evangelicals.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that, I mean, look, if there's anything we've learned from our show, it's don't worry, those won't last long. Those positive
I
feelings.
appreciate it. You know, dear white evangelicals, as a gay man, I appreciate the fact that you see me enough as a human being that I shouldn't be put out of my house, fired, or what was the third one? Medical access.
Yeah, or public
accommodations,
accommodations, whatever that means.
So, I mean, that's actually getting your fucking cake made when you go into a store. That's what a public accommodation is.
No, they asked about the cake make thing.
Oh, did they?
So they asked a question about how much people oppose religiously based service refusals.
Okay.
Meaning, do you strongly favor or strongly oppose or somewhere in the middle allowing a small business owner in your state to refuse to provide service or products to gay or lesbian people if doing so violates their religious beliefs?
Oh, boy.
Then things got a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I bet.
So definitely like the coolest group in that respect is the Jewish group. Jewish people, 46% strongly oppose and 25% oppose. And then, only a total of 24% strongly favor or favor the ability to refuse. But it never, the favoring of or strongly favoring of these of the ability to refuse service never gets above 50%.
Jesus Christ. Really?
Even among white evangelical Protestants, a little tiny bit over 50%. Well, no, not quite. Actually, that's not true. But it's not over 50% that oppose it, but it's under 50% that favor it. So
interesting. Wow.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
There is some progress in this land of ours. That's what I'm getting at. It's slow and it's ugly and it's stupid, but there's some progress. It happens.
I'm proud to be.
Right? So there you go.
Well, no, it's great news. I love it. And yay, mainline Protestants.
For not being quite as shitty as we believed you were.
Well,
mainline Protestants. Mainline Protestants are doing well.
Yeah.
Jews are doing great.
Yeah.
So hurrah.
Hispanic Catholics. Huh. It's funny to know who's out there who's kind of not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, listen, kids, if you would like to write into us and tell us all about how you oppose bakers having to make cakes for gay people, you can do so. Write to us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. I am assured that by the time you do that, I will actually have access to your emails.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442. Stick around, there's more show coming up. Hey, Dan.
Hey.
Dan, it's been so long. Where have you been?
I was hiding.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I don't know who this is. This next person.
It's a prophet.
Jeff Jansen. Yeah. Okay. Here. I finally have put my finger on what my main beef with these prophets really is.
Okay.
Right. Which is they don't dress like prophets.
Oh yeah. No, definitely not.
Where's the itchy, scratchy, clothing, the robe that's made out of something horrible and itchy, right?
Right.
Where's Where's just the filth? Where's the desert on you?
Or
right?
Conversely, some vestments of gravitas. You know what I mean? Like, let's
not
put
an
on
Under Armour t-shirt.
Let's put on a big goofy hat and like several layers of heavy cotton and wool.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Like, put in a little bit of effort instead of this stupid like Under Armour t-shirt and bad haircut. But that's what we're gonna get. And ladies and gentlemen, as you hear what Jeff Jansen has to say, here's what I want you to imagine, because this is really what is on the screen. It's a split screen. It's a Zoom call or whatever, and our prophet is on the right side, and on the left side is, for the bulk of the time, an empty chair. The other dude left for most of the time that this guy's talking, and then comes back right at the end.
And sits down and immediately starts thoughtful nodding. Yes.
Dude went out and got a snack during this prophesying. So that's how much, like, if their own it's your show, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, if their own show doesn't pay this prophecy that much attention, I guess you don't have to either. But here's what it has to say anyway.
I've had people email me and say, Jeff, you missed it. You said President Trump was going to be serving back-to-back terms and back-to-back presidency. But there's nothing magical about January the 20th. You have to realize that what's taken place in our nation has been a hostile takeover. And just because there was a fake inauguration, and that's exactly what it was, a fake inauguration, for optics and for posture, let them have their day in the sun doing what's going to take place. Basically, the prophetic word of Kim Clement is standing right now. It's the tale of two presidents. And right now in America, because President Trump has never conceded, he never agreed to anything, he never stepped away, never conceded. He basically stepped aside momentarily while things are being sorted out. And he used every available option afforded him to be able to do that constitutionally through the House of Representatives, through the courts. But listen, the court system is corrupt. The Supreme Court is corrupt, corrupt judges, corrupt everything. And he tried. They blocked him at every place they blocked him. Said he didn't have standing in the court system. The president of the United States doesn't have standing in the court system. Basically, he's done all that he could do. And when it was all said and done, the House was not able to do it. He stepped aside. He never conceded. And the last defense is military. So the military is in control right now. And they've already made their determination. Now it's about execution. Now it's about returning civil power after the we the people factor. The rightly duly elected president from this past election comes forward and they expose the corruption. There will be civil power restored to the United States, and that president will be Donald J. Trump. Watch what the Lord does, but I believe that April, I would be surprised if things don't happen by the end of April. Now I'm talking the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, which I believe are key dates.
Is it? Why can't they need to let this go?
Well, I'm kind of rooting for them to keep holding on to it. I just want to see how far, because there's no way they last 4 years.
They just
I want to
keep
see
coming
how
up
deep
with
they take it.
Next month on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th, something big's going to happen.
It's just amazing. Greg Locke, Pastor Locke, who's a guy from Tennessee that I follow on Twitter, and he's just a doofus. He said he recently tweeted, "I still believe in that Donald Trump's going to be president." It's just, man, it is a funny thing that they do.
I think they keep it up until he either, announces that he's not going to run again, which of course he's running again, or he wins again.
Yeah.
Well, like they are absolutely going to keep this up because they have to be right.
Jail. I would love to see the looks on their faces if he went.
Oh, that would be amazing.
If he went to prison in Georgia for election tampering.
I want to loop back to something though,
Okay.
which is the corrupt courts and judges and Supreme Court, of which is like packed with Trump nominees.
Lackeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A third of the Supreme Court got there because of Donald Trump.
Well,
Right.
and a whole
Like-
bunch of them are it's what, 7-2 conservative now or so?
Yes, it's off. I think it's like 6-3, but
Yeah.
still.
Like,
Right.
you guys need to not be alienating this court. This is your court. This
Yeah.
is as good as you are going to have
Everything you ever wanted in a Supreme Court, it's there, guys. Like, this is going to, if the religious shit makes its way to the court, which it's going to, you're going to get everything you want.
it. Yeah.
Like, it
You need to-
fucking sucks.
You need to be
Like,
so
what the
happy
f-
about this court. What are you
What,
doing?
what corrupt courts? I mean, okay, no. It's
I also love the
ludicrous.
idea that because Trump didn't concede and he never acquiesced.
Like,
Guess I got news for you, dude. He doesn't need to.
No.
We don't need him to say a word.
No, that's a
we
tradition.
can just move on.
That's been presidents being decent.
That's
and
just him-
respecting the process.
The fact that
so they
he's a little
concede.
bitch about the whole thing doesn't mean he's still president. You can't just say I'm not leaving and then you just get to still be
Yeah.
president. That's not how it works.
Well, I love that he didn't concede. He didn't this. He didn't that. Well, he got on the helicopter,
Yeah. He
right?
He said
I
goodbye.
I didn't see shackles. I didn't see people dragging him.
Yeah,
he got
exactly.
on it. He left, guys.
Yeah. Totally.
Get over it.
Oh my God. Well, there you have it. We had some folks write into us and call into us, so that's
Indeed.
nice.
Yeah.
This one's from John, who says, "Hi, I stand ashamed of not being a patron, but I also stand as being a pensioner with a limited fixed income." We totally understand that, John. This show is entirely free to you, and we are happy to provide it. But all the rest of you, you better pay attention that you need to kick in a little bit extra for the pensioners of the world. All right? All right. Enough said. Here's John goes on. "I am English, but I have lived in Ireland just over half of my 68 years. I was born and raised an atheist, and, well, I still am an atheist. In the current episode, you mentioned, quote, every diocese, every Catholic organization on the planet is just hemorrhaging money because of scandals with pedophilia. I am sorry, very sorry, to have to tell you that the assets of the Catholic Church, indeed the assets of all religions in Ireland, are protected under the Constitution of Ireland.
Oh no.
Article 44.2.6 states, the property of any religious denomination or any educational institution shall not be diverted save for necessary works of public utility and on payment of compensation. This, being the highest internal law in the country, EU law ranks higher, prevents the courts from even hearing lawsuits against religions. What's the point? You can't get any compensation for any injuries suffered, including being, and I'll use the word abused, though he used a more colorful phrase, by the employee of a religion when you were a kid. What's happening is that all taxpayers in Ireland, including non-Catholics, are footing the abuse bill and being a government payout, the compensation is not nearly enough to go even partway to remedying the abuse. There are those of us who think that the abuser should pay dearly, but that's not easy to get Irish people to understand that the largest criminal child and unmarried mother abuse and killing organization in the world should be shut down. Keep up the good work, John. Yeah. That is some heavy duty stuff.
That's called foresight.
That is
Put it in the Constitution.
That is called privilege beyond belief, which religions have enjoyed for millennia.
Yeah.
Let's see. Why don't we play the voicemail?
Yeah, we have a voicemail, Dan. This is from a listener who shares a story about something. I've never been to Hawaii. That might change soon.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we're fully vaccinated, I'm on a jet plane. But no, a listener who's sharing experience about something that's in Hawaii that's called the, was it the Polynesian Cultural Center? Is that what it's called?
I've been to the PCC.
Okay.
Or I think it's our friend Chris who calls it the Mormon People Zoo.
Anyway, it's it's run by the Mormon Church. There's a long backstory there as to like why they would run this. And of course, with it being run by the Mormons, it also comes with Mormon rules. So here's his voicemail.
Hey, how you doing? I'm James Roach. Live over in Morocco right now. Quick story. Went on vacation with an ex-girlfriend to Oahu, Hawaii. Had fun. Then we went to Polynesian Cultural Center. Had no idea that it was run by the Mormons. Chilling out and having fun, and it's almost noontime, and I'm asking, hey, where's the alcohol? They're like, alcohol? We don't have alcohol. You have a bar here. Oh, sir, we don't have alcohol here. This is run by the Mormons. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So later on in the day, they offered to take us a tour of the temple, and when I was over there, they asked if I would like to have any more information about the Mormons, and I said yes, absolutely. I've always found a calling with the Mormon faith, and my name is Jeff. So I gave him my friend's address, name, and before we even got back to Austin, Texas, they already went out to his house and knocked on his door at 8 o'clock in the morning. And you have to understand, back then we were late night bartending folks. So yeah, let's just say he wasn't too happy. Just thought I'd share that story. And if you ever get a chance to head out to the Polynesian Cultural Center, please do. It is quite an experience. Thanks. Love the show. Take care. Have a good day.
Using the missionaries for pranks. Well done.
You know, I feel like that is a very good use of missionary time.
Totally.
And believe me, you can get them wherever you want them. Like literally, if you go outside your front door and holler, "Hey Mormons," you'll probably get a couple wherever you are. If you can look into the mirror and say Mormonism, Mormonism, Mormonism 3 times, and someone will ring your doorbell.
Bloody Mormon, bloody Mormon.
Yeah, why not? I mean, send them to everybody. Send them to your boss. Just give them your boss's information when you don't get the raise that you deserve. It's a good passive aggressive way that doesn't do any real harm. Anyway, hey, Elizabeth wrote into us. Hi guys, my name is Elizabeth. Yeah, I just said that. Anyway, I've been listening to your show for a couple months now. I was raised in a very Catholic family and only recently told my family I'm not a believer, so I was still going to church with them up until a couple months ago. A couple of weeks before the 2020 election, the homily was the priest literally yelling at us to vote, quote, Catholic, which he then specified meant voting for the pro-life candidate. Although
Don't vote for the Catholic. Vote Catholic.
Yeah, exactly. Vote against a Catholic by voting Catholic.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Although he didn't say names, he went on and on about the candidate that, quote, represented Christian ideals because of his ideas on marriage and abortion. It was really painful to sit through, not just for me, but for my Catholic family who are conservative, but in no way Trump supporters. Apparently, the same type of homily was given by a different priest at a different mass in the same church. Just wondering if you guys had heard of any other churches that were openly telling their people to vote for Trump. I hope this wasn't some type of order that was given out to all the churches. Love the show. Stay safe and COVID-free. Well, Elizabeth, I haven't heard anything about the Catholics, sending out an order to their priests. I do know lots of evangelicals were gleefully saying that if you didn't vote for Donald Trump, you were evil and demon possessed and all kinds of other things. But
yeah, I think a lot of times, like, people, they know the message.
Oh yeah,
right. It doesn't take the Pope telling them. You know,
it's true.
Those priests knew.
Though
Biden's just Catholic in name only.
Yeah,
he's a Kino.
He's a Chino.
Kino.
Yeah. It is shocking to me that when presented with the choice between a very obviously evil man and a practicing Catholic, these guys are like, well, nope, the only thing I care about is abortion and keeping gays from being happy. So
ridiculous.
You got to vote for Trump.
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, that's the evil act right there, if you ask me. But
yeah, totally. Anyway, listen, we need your support, kids. And so many of you do support us in various ways, and we're going to give you a few ways that you can support us and show that you like our show. One of those ways, the cheapest, the freest way, is to go to iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and to give us a little rating and a review. As Bruce from Green did on iTunes, where he wrote, "Yes, Frank and Dan are human beings, and I appreciate that." So, very glad to be of service. I'm not sure how you know our species.
But we're not lizard people.
Yeah.
We could be lizard people.
Yeah, you're going to need to check in with David Icke about that. But as far as the rest of you know, we are human beings, and that is to be appreciated. So please feel free to go out there onto the interwebs and write a nice little blurb about us. It helps other people find the show, and it's very nice of you. And when you give us the 5 stars, which you should always give us 5 stars, no fewer, it helps counteract all of the jerk Christians who don't even listen to our show but give us a 1-star review anyway just because we've got the word atheist in the title. And then the other way that you can support us is the money way, and that's something that we don't ask of everybody. Our friend John in Ireland, no, we don't ask it of you. John, you're good. Everybody else, if you can afford it, give us some of your cash. Just like Cynthia did, who went and on PayPal gave us a lovely thing. Cynthia, I am going to now bless you. You are now a teacher in the Aaronic priesthood. Congratulations to you. And then, Frank, you got some people to thank as well.
I do indeed, Dan. These kind folk went over to thankgodimatheist.com and followed our Patreon link, which you can find there. And so that's a great way of finding us over on Patreon. We actually have 2 new patrons this week.
Okay.
We have a new deacon, Robert. Thank you, Robert.
Congratulations.
You can pass the sacrament like a 12-year-old. And then there's a new teacher by the name of Thomas. And Thomas gets to set up the sacrament.
Yeah.
Like
you
a
guys are so
14-year-old.
lucky that you have these powers now. It's amazing.
Like a 14-year-old male. This is important.
Yeah. As Uncle Mark on How to Heretic likes to say, when you're a Mormon, once a boy turns 12, he outranks his mother. So that's a lot of fun. Anyway, you guys get the priesthood from us, which is a lot nicer, and it isn't sexist, and it's actually it has equal amount of magic. So that's pretty cool. And we have one more person to thank.
We do indeed. We have our top donor, Dan, our Lord and Savior.
Wait, I'm cutting you off.
What's that?
Because I am going to quickly throw in a sneaky thank you to our sneaky demigod, Davis. Davis! He's a demigod. He is no longer the Lord and Savior. Now you go in and give us the Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior, Austin!
Woo!
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy a good lawsuit as much as I do?
It depends on which end of the suit I'm on, I guess. No, I don't enjoy a good lawsuit at all. But I did recently realize that if I had a lot of money, I might retain a lawyer just for frivolous lawsuits as pranks against my friends.
Oh, that would be really nice of you.
Yeah.
Let's hope you never have a lot of money then.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like I'm in any danger at this point.
Well, one Mr. James Huntsman of the Huntsman family of Utah and Mormonism and whatnot.
They're a big deal family here.
Yeah.
That name opens every door in Utah.
Well,
Literally, you just whisper it, and it's like a password.
Yeah, but billionaire daddy John Huntsman Sr. And faithful Mormon, right?
Yes.
It really established that family very, very, very well in sort of Mormondom. And they're an interesting family. John Huntsman Jr. ran for president of the United States after being a wildly popular governor of Utah.
Yeah.
Because
even among us.
Yeah. I loved
we
the
liked
man.
him.
Yeah, he was great. And then I forget what his name, but one of the other brothers owned he bought the Salt Lake Tribune out of some horrible hedge fund situation where it was just being dismantled slowly over time. He bought it out of that situation and then turned it into a nonprofit organization so that we have a non-Mormon owned newspaper in this city. They're the kind of uber wealthy folk you kind of like to have around a little bit. Them. I mean, John Huntsman Sr. also founded a cancer research center.
Yeah.
Up at the University of Utah. Philanthropy kind of runs strong in the family. Anyway, James Huntsman has decided he resigned from the church, I guess, a year or two ago, and he is now suing the LDS Church for all his tithing back.
He wants his tithing back
because he says that they've committed fraud, that they have misused the money. That they've used it in a way other than they lead the membership to believe. And this goes back to another story that we talked about on the show a while back, which is the crazy huge investment fund and the mountain of money that the Mormon Church is just sitting on. That got whistleblown to the IRS. What was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
What was the sum? It's some absolutely astronomical, crazy sum.
It was $100 billion.
That's what it is, which is a larger fund than the Harvard endowment
or whatever.
And it's large. It's a larger fund than the Gates Foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is sitting on.
Oh yeah.
This is an everybody knows $100 billion is an astronomical amount of money, but it is fucking ludicrous for a religious organization, a church, to just be sitting on this money. They've referred to it as a rainy day fund,
right?
Which got the best quip out of Mitt Romney. He was more like a rainy month fund or something,
a rainy year fund or whatever.
Anyway, maybe not the best quip, but it was awesome that it came out of Mitt Romney's mouth. And
it's a shockingly high amount of money, and especially shockingly high when you consider how much they love to brag about their, $5 or $6 million that they give to charity every year or whatever. You know what I mean? They talk about they put it in $30 million every now and then, and they will not shut up about how much they give to charity.
Right.
And so I kind of get where this where James Huntsman's coming from when he says, I gave you guys more than $5 million in tithing.
Right. Well,
and you guys are just investing it. I could have invested it.
Right. And what's important is, so they take a little bit of the unused tithing money and they put it into this investment fund, right? This is how I understand. I remember it working. It was right. So they put some in there, and then they've been building this fund. And then at a certain point, and this is where the whistleblower was trying to get, or what he was really trying to expose, and that would get the Mormon Church in trouble if it's true, which is they then used this money to bail out some for-profit companies that the church owns. Like there was this insurance company that during the economic downturn, a little over a decade ago, they had an insurance company that they own. Let that sink in. An insurance company they own that was having a hard time, and so they used some of this money to prop them up. Also, there was something about the $2 billion mall that they built downtown,
right?
Which also, malls don't cost $2 billion, people. But if you walk through this one, you go, oh, this is a $2 billion mall.
And they apparently just dipped into the old credit card there, and which they weren't supposed to do, and which they adamantly denied ever having done.
Right. And so, he definitely has a moral and ethical case here. I don't know how much of a legal case he has, not being a legal expert on such things, but like
it's tricky because I can't imagine this going anywhere. Like it seems completely hopeless to me just based on how I've seen the courts act towards religion versus somebody going after religion. Mm-hmm. And also, like, you gave the money willingly and you never asked them what they were doing with it. You know what I mean? Like you just said, oh, okay, you just have all this money. But he is right that maybe they misrepresented. And look, a guy that has that much money is the kind of guy whose lawyers could pull something crazy off. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if the lawsuit's going anywhere.
My guess is, though, that he's not sitting on a $100 billion mound of cash.
No, he does. He has a lot of money. He doesn't have Mormon money. He doesn't have. No, he has Mormon money. He doesn't have Mormon church money.
Yeah,
and that is a kind of money that no one can hope to match.
Yeah.
However, can you imagine what would happen if he won this case?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, that's the other reason he's not going to win is because courts will be keenly aware of the precedent that will be set if anyone is able to reclaim the shit money that they gave away while they were being lied to by their religion. Because the line to get behind, the line for people suing the church after he wins will be forever. It's an eternity line, and I'm in it. I'm going to be second or third in that line.
I want my $500 back.
Yeah, I didn't give him much, but I gave enough that that's a trip to Mexico right there.
Yeah. I mean, my parents drilled tithe paying into me, right?
Yeah.
Like I was given an allowance and I had to pay tithing on my allowance. Right. And I think that's probably common or not unheard of, right?
Did you have one of those banks, one of those little piggy banks that had the slot for you and the slot for the Lord and then the slot for to save for your mission?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Those were common here.
But I had to have made between, jobs and whatnot, not a ton of money growing up, but I know I had $5,000 in the bank when I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
That I had saved. And so there was at least $500, but probably more like double that I pay. Like they probably owe me $1,000.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
I want my $1,000.
It's one of those things where I mean, that's one of the things that is so painful when you leave your church is not just realizing, oh, I was lied to this whole time. And, oh, their morals are not right. And, oh, cosmology is different than what I thought. And I don't know what to believe anymore. But also, I gave those assholes so much of my hard-earned money and they used it so badly. Yeah. Or in the case of the Mormons, just decided not to use it at all. I think that's one of the most painful things that people go through when they've left their religion is just how much and it's not just money too. Like we all gave so much time and so much work.
Time. Yeah.
And
and they're even worse about that now. Like, my understanding is that like the Mormon membership, like they take turns cleaning the chapel. They play turns being the janitor. They used to always have a hired paid janitor.
they don't do
of
that
the
anymore.
church.
Oh, those sneaks! Those
They
fucking...
have people. They get people to volunteer to go clean the toilets down at the ward house.
Oh my gosh! Let me tell you
Right?
something.
Like,
the
it's
second
absurd.
even if I were a believing member, the second I found out about $100 billion, if they said it's your turn to clean the toilets, I would be no.
Yeah,
I'm afraid it's not.
you can afford a janitor.
Yeah.
we know you can afford a janitor, so just pay a fucking janitor. No, like there's that, but then there's like the callings. I served a fucking Mormon mission,
Yeah.
which is one of the most difficult things to like really figure out post having like left the church. And like I got to go live in a foreign country and I learned a foreign language and I had like some cool experiences. But that was also 2 years of my adolescence.
Yeah.
Right?
Two very important years of your life.
Those were supposed to be my first 2 years in college.
Yeah.
Right?
And instead you didn't get any years in college because of it. You had to start on year 3. No, it's not.
No, I mean, obviously I came back and I went to college and everything, and people don't always just go to college right out of high school. But
Right.
but that was always my plan.
Yeah.
And then somehow it got diverted to like serve this mission thing. Like I was going to go on to like a year of college before, and I was being sneaky. I knew that if I did, I would never actually go on a mission. And I think my dad knew that too. And so he kind of forced the issue. But anyway, so like you have all these things that you end up giving to your religious community beyond the money.
Yeah.
And they just take and take and take and just drain it out of you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the community side of it that you can't really, like the people taking care of each other and the volunteerism and all of that. That's a good thing, right?
Sure. Absolutely.
But
it's not like you get nothing in return.
Yeah.
But then there's also like the abusive side of religion and the all the purity culture bullshit and stuff. So it's like once you free yourself, I feel like they owe us a debt.
Well, and people like taking Mormon like ward callings and feeling like they don't want to do the thing. Like the amount of guilt that people feel.
Oh yeah.
Right. That leads them to like, serve their community. I don't know that that's a good thing.
No.
Right.
No.
And so
there are
anyway,
so many negative, painful emotions that people just swallow because the Lord is telling them to do it.
Yeah. But I say good luck, James Huntsman.
Let us know if there's a way we can. We know that you're listening, James. Let us know if there's a way that we can be supportive of this endeavor, because I am on board. I will write an amicus brief.
I mean, even if it won't really put a dent into their massive amount of money. Like, you are wasting their time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's one thing that he's doing.
And you're scaring the shit out of them because you're making people think.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking a question that they don't think anyone has the right to ask.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah. So I think it's all a very good thing. And I wish more people would do it, to be honest.
Yeah. So there we go. We'll keep you abreast. We'll let you know how it goes. I don't expect it to go anywhere, but I've been surprised before. We'll see. Anyway, if you think you know where it's going, or if you would like to sue your religion for something, tell us about it. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah. Also follow us on Twitter. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Twitter @TGIAtheist.
And if you want to join the members only lounge over on Facebook, go to thankgodimatheist.com members only. You have to do the whole thing, and then it takes you right over to the members only, to Facebook.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their music.
And thanks to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thanks to all of you, dear friends, for tuning in. We appreciate it.
Bye-bye.